Hello and welcome to Nomifactory. Today our goal is to get some polyethylene production up and running and to see if we can make some high voltage circuits. I've crafted up a bunch of machines between episodes which we will use for making the polyethylene. The circuits I made last episode, the integrated ones at MV tier, I've used about half of them for these machines. So we don't have as many as we did before, but we needed these machines anyway, so that's okay. We start by setting up the line here. And I won't connect it because we are working with transformers. I made the breweries here at LV tier. Here. And I'm working with a transformer, so I don't want it to blow up. So until then, I won't connect this. I'll put down the transformer here and make sure the MV side is turned towards the MV line, which is this one. Then I place down the breweries. Like so. These will need water. I think I'll just run a line up here to get them water and then just filter the insert. Have intervals for that. These will need power. Connect them up. I'll extract some water from this interval here and take 4 of these fluid filters and write list water, like so. And we'll just insert on blue. Make sure it's water here. Extract, always active on blue. These should be getting water now. They aren't getting power because still this isn't connected. Yeah, that should be fine. These will need some sugarcane to run and make biomass, but I'll just run a line from over here. Make some cross-country wire here. It won't be pretty, but until we get some more interfaces and storage buses up and running, it's the only option we have. I'll connect this up to make sure that they are making biomass. They are. Let's see here. Yes, biomass. For good measure, I'll make this round robin, so it switches between them, but it shouldn't matter. They are not very quick, so they should be topped up at every moment. Next step is to distill it. I'll place down an advanced distillery here, and the insert I've filtered for biomass. We just have to extract on brown here. Oh, not let's see. On the fluid. It's a bit of clicks here, but that should be alright. This is getting biomass here. And it has power. I think it might need a circuit too. Distillery. A circuit of 1. To get ethanol. That's ethanol. I think we'll make a buffer for this because we need to keep it running until this process is over, because this is one of the slower processes. When we get wood pulp as well, I didn't know that actually. Oh, this is oxygen. That won't work. For the small wood pulp, I just set up a item trash can here, which I filtered for the small piles of wood pulp. So that shouldn't clog up. We will make sure to hold a bucket of this, if it's a quest. I think it is, yeah. The next step is to make sulfuric acid. And to make this, we will need a few chemical reactors here. We need to make sulfur trioxide, which is made from sulfur dioxide, which is made from oxygen and sulfur dust. Sulfur dust we are getting from DML, from our blaze prediction that I started running. And oxygen we will get from a setup here I'll make after setting up the chemical reactors. I think I'll start with the oxygen actually. We get oxygen by electrolyzing silicon dioxide dust, which is made by centrifuging glass dust. Glass dust we get from macerating glass, which we get from smelting sand, which you get from forge hammering cobblestone tries. And this should be it actually, if we just configure these to auto output. It should be easy like that. I don't know how many these need to run. 3 it seems like. And just like that we have 2000 oxygen. We will output into a barrel. And I'm not sure we will save this silicon because we get a lot from electrolyzing clay, so I don't think that's necessary. I set up another trash can here for the silicon dust. I really don't think we need it. Next we set up the automation for sulfuric acid. The first chemical reactor will need some sulfur. Let's see. Which I'll just place in this drawer here and insert on brown. Then the oxygen we'll get from over here. We will filter it. Make sure it's extracting here, let's say blue. And this needs to be a circuit of 2. This makes us sulfur dioxide, which we will extract into the next chemical reactor here. And I think it needs yet more oxygen. It does. So that's another fluid conduit with a filter. Or not plasma, but normal oxygen. Let's say blue. This should give us sulfide. Or trioxide, sorry. Trioxide we use with... we use that with water actually to get sulfuric acid. So we will just take another chemical reactor here. Probably make an ender war here. set this to auto output. I'll just find some water. We have some here. This should be getting water, and then we will auto output this. And this should get us sulfuric acid here. Very nice. This we will... I think we'll make a buffer for this. I'll just throw it into it. It needs... I made stainless steel drums with some of our first stainless steel because those can hold acid. Steel drums can't. That's our first sulfuric acid. I'm not sure we have space for it, but we will just go vertical if we don't. We should have most of what we need for ethylene here. We will just extract these two here. I think I'll filter them. It's not needed, but I think I'll do it anyways. This is ethanol. And this is sulfuric acid. Set that to blue. This slowly makes us ethylene here. It's not that fast, but even though it's not fast, we will still be bottlenecked by the ethanol here because these breweries aren't the fastest. This process gives us ethylene and diluted sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid we can reuse by throwing it into a distillery, and it will give us most of the sulfuric acid back here. Like 2/3 of the sulfuric acid we will get back, so that's a nice bonus. We don't need to make as much sulfuric acid then, and we can use that for other processes like making circuit boards and stuff like that. The last chemical reactor I'll throw up here. Make sure it has power. This one needs oxygen to make it into polyethylene. Right now we only have ethylene, we need polyethylene. And that's just combining it with oxygen. Hope we have enough fluid conduits. Looks like we do. And we will make sure to filter again. So I set up the distillery here and the last chemical reactor. The distillery I've just filtered the diluted sulfuric acid for, and I brought over the oxygen here. The last thing I need to do is filter the oxygen in here, besides the ethylene. Then this should be getting oxygen once these stop hogging it all. I'm not quite sure how much oxygen it needs to work. Oh, it needs a circuit as well of 1. And this should be our first polyethylene. And we will just output this to a barrel. Like so. With our new polyethylene and a plate mold in a fluid solidifier, we should be able to make our first polyethylene plates here. And this should complete the quest, which opens out a lot of new quests here. We'll need these transistors, which is polyethylene in an assembler with some silicon plate and fine thin wire. And these we can use to make the high voltage circuits here. I forgot that I had crafted up a arc furnace for this. Now that we have automated oxygen here, an arc furnace should be very easy to use instead of a normal furnace here, and it will double the glass and it's much faster and generally much better. But I don't have any more ender fluid conduits right now, so I'm mixing up some vibrant alloy that I can craft it up with. So that will take some time, but I will make sure to switch this out for an arc furnace. I'm about to craft up my first transistors here. You put polyethylene, the liquid, into the MV assembling machine here, and with fine tin wire and some silicon plate, this should make up our first transistors. I'm making more fine tin wire here. We'll need a few. Right here, transistors, nice. This should mean that we can craft up our first advanced circuit here. I think we have everything except the anneal copper bolts here. But we should be able to craft those up. Oh, and we also need the fine electrum wire. We'll see if we can grab some more gold here and silver, and we will smelt this up in the alloy furnace. We might be able to craft up our first few HV circuits here. I think we have everything. What more do we need here? The transistors, I think. Yeah, that's the first one. We need more RAM and integrated circuits. And we need more anneal copper bolts, which you have here. This should make a few actually. It just takes a long time. And here we have it, the first high voltage circuit. I think the next goal is to go for the MV circuit assembler here, which we need the high voltage circuits for. These should help us be able to make cheaper circuits. If we see... I think these become available. Ah, that's only if we have the plastic circuit boards. We should probably craft those up then. I think we need a lot of chlorine for this. So this is probably the time where we set up a fluid rig for salt water. And then I think we electrolyze it for chlorine. We can also use gas tiers, but that's not a renewable source of it. Not yet, at least. We don't have a gas model running all the time, and a fluid rig is much better. So I think I'll go for that. But we need to keep the steel coming in, so I'll cook up some more steel in our crude blast furnaces. At this point in the pack, we can quite easily craft up the circuit assembler. The hardest part was obviously the HV circuits, but everything else was pretty easy and we have crafted up before. The next goal after the circuit assembler is to get this HV assembling machine here. This we can use to get way cheaper circuits, because these SMD components just makes a lot of capacitors and resistors and stuff like that, just using polyethylene and some way cheaper recipes as well, and it makes a bunch. If you look at, let's see, SMD, let's look at the diode here. You take a gallium arsenide dust, some fine platinum wire, and some polyethylene, and it makes 32 diodes in one craft. That's amazing. But we need 5 HV circuits for it. We need one for the energy converter, and we need 4 for the assembling machine itself. I'll work on this and see if we can get it done, and I'll be back. The components are getting kinda expensive now. The motors here, for example, needs 2 times electrum wire, and also needs 2 times silver cable, and obviously the stainless steel, and that's just for one. We need 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, so we need 10 of them. And that's a lot of electrum, silver, and stainless steel, but I think we can get it done. It's just a lot of crafting. Let's see how many motors we can craft. 6. It's electrum wire we need more of. Yeah, we don't have any more. I'm still crafting up everything here. Takes a while when you only have a LV wire mill. I'll probably craft up a HV at some point, but it is very expensive in components. We have everything for the high voltage energy converter. After a bit of micromanaging the machines, we have 10 HV electric motors. We should be able to craft up these conveyors if we had more rubber sheets, which I crafted up here. Let's see, one more. I'm not quite sure we have enough. No, we need the piston here, which is 2 small gears. 2 pistons. What do we need? 2 pistons. 2 HV robot arms. It's looking good. And we just need the hull now. And I think we can actually craft it up. We can. Very nice. This will become exceptionally useful. And I think we will set it up here for now. I've done a 180 on the base building. I think it will be a mess until we can comfortably autocraft HV machines. Then we will probably do a little bit of base building. But until then it will be very difficult to do anything cool. A good place to wrap up the episode, I think, is to use the high voltage assembling machine here to craft our first SMD components. We will do the diode, which is fine platinum wire, and the gallium arsenics that I put in here. Gallium arsenide. And we will make 64 diodes, just like that. It's just a bit of polyethylene and the components I just mentioned. And that's how quick we get diodes now. A stack in what? Like 20 seconds? That's crazy. So what did we do this episode? We set up this whole chemical line here to get polyethylene. It's not the cleanest setup, but it works. I will automate the insertion of sulfur at one point. We really need to automate our DML setup as well, but for that we need, I think, a better PPC setup, so there's a lot of optimization. I also want to get even cheaper circuits with the plastic circuit boards, and yeah, I plan to do a lot of things, but we can't do it all in this episode at least. Soon we will need more power as well. So we have a lot to do, but we also got a lot done in this episode. The best part being the HV assembling machine, which will just make circuit crafting a lot easier. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.